Welcome to 2 on the 10.
We back 2 on the 10, baby. I'm Paul.
I'm Mitch.
Greedy Nick.
Greedy.
Oh, yeah. Another week in the books. Huh?
Yep.
Summertime. Summer.
Okay, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Summertime right around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Summertime's here.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes here if you're in Arizona.
Yeah, that is true, though. You know what? Actually, for as late as it is, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
It's May. It's still.
It's going to be May.
You know,
It was like 105.
I know, but I don't know. It felt good. You know, I like the 102 weather. I like the heat, period. That's why I live out this motherfucker.
I mean, all I got to say is I got to get reminded of it and conditioned every year, you know.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I love, get automatic start on your car, say cool down your car, shit like that. But I actually I love this time of year. Less clothes, pool time, just having fun. You feel like you just got drink. It's just one of them. It just feels like it goes with my like personality. That I lay back, just have a good time type.
I'll just say this though. It's kind of like, you take a vacation, whatever else. You're a gym cat, let's say. You take a vacation, you do your drinking, your eating, whatever. You're 3 weeks out, you have your fun.
Yeah.
You love the gym, but you come back to the gym, them first couple weeks, it's kind of like it's a reminder.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
And I think that's what I kind of think the
I
feeling
got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What's a gym? I have not seen that place.
I know I've been slacking on it, but hey, it's ebbs and flows, baby. It's ebbs and flows, and some things take. I hate to say it, but some things take precedence. So we're going to the gym. Try to get my cardio in other ways. Can't talk about that sometimes. Can on the podcast. We can't talk about that right now.
It's like that ESPN, the fastest 2 minutes.
We're not talking about your life, but
Pickle Park edition.
Pickle Park edition.
Right.
With the cat. The cat licking the bowels.
Wow, I think Peter's pissed off right now.
Fuck him. But no, man, let's get into it. How was your weekend, brother?
Mine was cool. It was, just chill. It's been, I'm actually on, I think on Saturday, because, we knew like the weather. Okay, so if you looked at the weather this past weekend, it was like Friday was going to be 98.
Right.
Saturday was going to be 90.
Right.
And Sunday was going to be 100.
Yep.
So, me and Chris decided to, just hit on the bike Saturday morning.
Okay.
Take a little trek, hit around the lake.
Okay.
Hit up past, what's it called? Fountain Hills.
Okay, so you guys went up by Saguaro Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forgot it was Memorial Day weekend too. So all the people in the river and stuff. Yeah, it was.
Right, yeah.
Had to be in this whole caravan of cars and bikes and shit like that. But it was cool. Obviously headed out early.
Right.
Just took a little. Like we have this kind of thing for the last 2 times we went here. So it's like we take Saguaro Lake, take the scenic route all the way through Fountain Hills, take Shea Boulevard all the way down to Guido's Deli.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, and so hit up Guido's Deli again. Always got to get the turkey sandwich. That's my favorite turkey sandwich anywhere, especially with the family dressing and stuff like that. And then I think this time she got what'd she get? Oh, she got the stuffed peppers and pasta.
Really?
Yeah, which was money. And then of course I had to get the roasted fries and again the best cheesecake I've ever had. Their homemade lemon. I want to say it's the lemon ricotta. And then you add strawberry sauce on it. Amazing cheesecake. So hit that up, and then just chilled, did some Moose Lodge over the weekend, did a lot of movie watching. Also actually, a lot of movie watching because we got the crazy ass cats in the house. Shout out to Ollie and Molly, the Bengal cats.
Yeah. How they doing?
Oh, they're doing good. You're going to be seeing a TikTok channel on them soon.
Oh, yeah? You know what?
Ollie and Molly out.
You know what? You joking about that. You should start that shit. I'm telling you. You fuck around and go viral. People love their animals, bro. That's the one thing.
Yeah.
So if you got 2 Bengal cats, you can show them growing up, playing around. If you catch them, in their little atmosphere,
They're a trip, man. I'll tell you, I love it. Best decision we ever made, and stuff. So yeah, enjoying that and watching them, stuff like that. And then I want to say that was really chill, relaxed. And then to start the week, we actually hit up some Gus's Chicken. Gus's world famous chicken,
Okay.
which is my favorite chicken spot out here.
Okay.
And it was funny. We hit
Is it good?
Oh yeah, Gus is amazing to me. It's my favorite fried chicken out here.
Really?
Out here, for
It's good.
Yeah. And then what's it called? It's funny too.
They
So,
compete with my mama's chicken?
I'm talking about businesses and shit. Yeah, we can't take personal and family and shit.
Okay. I was making sure.
But it's
It has
good.
some spice to it.
Yeah.
It's
Does it?
different. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. And then and what's funny too is because I've been the one in Mesa. Obviously, I've been the one in Chicago. That's the one that laced me on that originally. But then when the Mesa one, downtown Mesa, check that one out.
Oh, you know what? I've been to that joint. I've been to that one. You said down there on Main, right?
Yeah.
I've been to that one. That was not bad. Not bad chicken.
And then what's it called? So there's a Phoenix one, and I think I sent you the pictures. This is a trip. So I go to the Phoenix one the other day, and it's just a regular chicken spot, right?
Yeah.
In Phoenix. I want to say it's on 16th Street, a little past Osborne, which, by the way, on the way there, I saw our old burger spot. Remember Lucky Boy?
Oh, Lucky Boy.
Lucky Boy.
Yeah,
That shit was the bomb. Shout out Lucky Boy Burgers.
Yeah.
Like, next time I'm in that area, I got to go get me a burger, and they throw the ranch dressing on it.
Yeah.
But with that said, this cracked me up. I'm waiting for my food at the counter. And again, keep in mind, it's like a chicken spot.
Right.
They had a fridge, and in the fridge, I looked to the right, they have 40s like Budweiser and different stuff like that. 40s in the fridge. And on the left, they have bottles of champagne, including Vu and Dom P in their fridge.
In their fridge.
Yeah.
Was it good prices?
I didn't even ask. It was lunchtime.
No.
But at the same token,
You want to show your ass?
well, here's the thing. I was like, man, I'd love to see. I go, and it was funny. I go, man, y'all got Dom P up in there? He goes, yeah, believe it or not, people be popping it. Like, and it's not a club. It's just a chicken spot.
Right.
So let me get a bucket of chicken and a bottle of Dom P.
Right.
I mean, we're talking ghetto fabulous to the finest.
Right.
I think I'm gonna have to do that. Anybody want to join me out here? We'll pop some Dom P and eat some chicken.
Oh, hey, you know the number.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down. Seriously,
That's all you gotta do.
that's what I call a Sunday fun day.
That's all you gotta do. Is give me a ring.
So yeah, no, it was cool. It was a cool week. Got some food spots in. Relaxed again. Spent a lot of time with the cats, and yeah, it was a good week. How about you?
Man, here's the thing is this weekend, so my girl got a little cosmetic procedure and stuff like that. So, I've been taking care. That's my weekend consists of being her nurse for the whole weekend and stuff like that. So it was, I liked it because we've been on the go and stuff like that. It was a good time. It was like a force slow down and stuff like that. We got to spend, some good QT time together. We got to watch some movies, stuff like that. And, like I said, I just got to kind of take care of her. We got to kind of reconnect a little bit, stuff like that. So, I appreciated this weekend just because it forced me to slow down and just, like we talked about on the show, just appreciate the little things that we have. You know what I'm saying? And so, we always doing the go, and then, never take time to kind of like
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah, enjoy the moment. Exactly. And so, this weekend it was cool. She was in a little pain, but other than that, we got to watch some, Netflix joints. If you haven't seen it, check out Atlas. I loved it. I know people online giving mixed reviews about it. The Jennifer Lopez sci-fi movie.
Oh, I started it this weekend too.
That shit was fun. To me, that shit was fire.
I fell asleep.
It was fucking fire. I loved it. It was to me, it was one of her fucking best roles.
That's not saying much though.
But no, I really.
I thought our best role was P. Diddy's girlfriend.
Wow.
We'll get to that later.
But
I'm gonna have to say her best role ever was Selena, and she couldn't duplicate that.
Okay. See, I guess impersonating Selena. I guess,
Jiggly,
but
Jersey Girl.
Yeah, I mean, what's the other little stripper one?
Hustle and Flow 3.
Hustle.
No, I'm just playing.
Hustle. It was called Hustle.
That trick.
That's what it was called. It was called Hustle. Yeah.
With Cardi B.
Yeah. But no, I actually enjoyed. She did. I thought she did a fucking great job playing this part. And I love sci-fi movies.
No, I'll tell you what. It was cool, but it was just funny because it was like it just to me, and I'll give it another shot. Sometimes you just got to be in the right perspective, right mind frame. But it was like, okay, they started the show. I'm not gonna ruin it because it's just episode 1.
Yeah.
They start the show.
Episode 1 is a fucking show. It's a movie.
Or the movie, whatever it was. It felt like a series. I was checked out by about 40 minutes in.
What do you think? Just because you didn't understand the back plot, it took a long time to.
No. It just was like, oh, we've never had this person go up here to do this, or whatever. And then all of a sudden she's there, already found their arch nemesis or whatever.
Well, here's the thing.
In 10 minutes, and then the dude that I'm not going to say much more, but it just
the thing I liked about it is because it first of all,
shout out to the robot show. I think that was the most impressive thing.
The whole thing is just talking about AI. We keep talking about. We touch on a little bit in the show. We talk about AI and then how artificial intelligence, if they become aware, we're fucked because they'll see us as an organism that's fucking killing the earth.
That needs to be
Yeah, exactly.
And
So,
isn't that the message that Netflix is giving on everything?
no, I mean it's showing, but no, it is giving us, warning us about AI, but we keep fucking going towards that light. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying AI is bad. I'm just saying is we need to get to a point where we can use it, and as we keep getting to a point where we make it self-aware, where AI becomes self-aware, then we're fucked. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was,
It's already self-aware.
No, scorch the sky.
Have you seen the conversation?
Terminator.
I sent it to you guys. You see the video with the two phones and you put Chat GPT or whatever on them and they go back and forth on how to destroy the world?
No.
Yeah. Like, you see the video, Nick? I sent it to you?
I saw one video. Yeah, they were
With
talking
two
about
phones,
stuff.
and they
Yeah.
go back and forth. How would you destroy the world? And they go, I do this, 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 and I make this. And then we'll go back and forth and they had a full conversation on how they destroy the world.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway, but see, so that's where we're at, and I kind of I liked it because, like I said,
It had J-Lo.
she
Or
looked,
Jamie Foxx calls her, hey ho.
yeah, but she looked fine. She listen, I think she what 52 or some shit like that.
She's in her 50s.
Yeah, that. Oh, she bad as motherfucker. Me and my girl both was. I was like, "Would you do her?" She's like, "Yeah, I'd do her too." You know, she that fine, bro. 52, she getting all the smoke, all the smoke. I'm telling you right now.
You break her hip.
Motherfucker, I break everything up with that bitch. You know, I'm
How
coming,
she got the robot shell around her, like in the.
coming with a throw a hammer up at this bitch, but no. She Jennifer Lopez get.
So again, I think there's a little bit of bias, and you like.
No. I like the movie in general. Like I told you, I like sci-fi shit. It's just. Oh, speaking of like movies, I think you guys touched on it a little bit, and I hadn't seen the movie until just recently. Like I said, fucking caught up on a bunch of stuff. Just what the late hour over this weekend was. Got a chance to watch the Civil War movie,
Okay.
and so I understand what you guys were saying is based off from the reporter's perspective, but were they trying to insinuate that was President Trump?
It felt like it a little. It felt like a little, but who knows?
I was asking because he was going at the FBI, and then in the movie they said, "Oh, you just banded the FBI," and stuff like that. And then it was interesting to me because, and like I said, I'm not going to try to ruin too much, but
I think they did it on their own. They did a good job of ruining everything.
but what I'm saying is
Probably not gonna.
But what I'm saying is it's a session between like Texas, California, so these big states. It was just, and they were going after that. I mean, could you really see that actually fucking happening? Is what I'm saying. What happened in the movie?
Not. I could see chaos. But I can't see Texas. Well, here's the thing. I can't see Texas, Florida, and California succeeding and joining forces.
No.
Like we talked about this before. I can't see that. And two, here's the thing. It just pissed me off how freely they could walk around in times of chaos and crisis. We're the press. You know what I mean? It was like,
Right.
It was like,
Well, they were trying to say, oh, the press, had a little, even though they'd run up on some dudes that were just wilding out, like they didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was lawless like a motherfucker.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like them wrong turn motherfuckers.
Yeah. When it was
First of all,
throwing lights on,
you
lights on.
gotta have a clue, man. That's what pisses me off about stuff. Let's go over there and check it out.
But my whole thing was, and the question for you, I mean, since you guys have seen the movie, is, I mean,
what happened to Kristen Dunst?
what she did get old quick.
Yeah, she got old since Bring It On.
Yeah,
She got dunced.
she definitely wasn't on that.
On that J-Lo peds.
Or what's the stuff to make them skinny?
Ozempic?
Ozempic. Yeah, she definitely
Or are
wasn't.
you talking about the blood stuff in the blood or the children?
No.
Nothing.
But anyway, I'm saying, could you really see that happening in the day and age that we live in? I know. Here's the thing. I know that we are a divided country, right? And we have our stripes. But I think I don't think we'll get to the point where we'll revolt against each other the way that the movie.
How about this? I'm going to jump right in and tell you, it's not going to be organized. It's not going to be sides.
Right.
There's not going to be, oh, you're this side, you're the North, and you're the South. It's going to be, there's no food, there's no internet. Everybody's going to go crazy to serve themselves first.
Right.
And,
Well, I mean, the way they did it is basically they had it where the president kind of broke down the fabrics of the United States, and they were trying to get it back. And that's why I was trying to say is, I'm not trying to get into political weeds, but were they trying to insinuate that guy in the movie was Trump?
Possibly for sensationalism, of course. Why not?
Okay.
Hey,
Or someone.
I just want to know: are we going to have our first president presiding from federal prison, or?
I don't know. He got convicted today, right?
I mean, he's going to appeal, and it'll go on forever.
I mean, the appeal.
Hey, I just wonder if he, let's just say hypothetically, he wins the election, can he pardon himself?
Well, I believe he already has a pocket pardon. I think.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't think that. I think it's just to embarrass him. And
How about this? Let's say this. Let's say this. Let's name the last president that wasn't a criminal. I mean,
but I'm not.
got caught or didn't get caught.
No. Here's my question. Here's my question. Here's my question. Is there anything? I know there's something in the Constitution where you can't vote if you're a felon, but can you run for president?
Yeah, that's what's funny. You can't vote, but you can run for president. Yes.
So there's nothing in the Constitution that says felons can't run for president.
but can the president be sworn in from a federal prison? That's what I want to know.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Or did they give him like work release?
Why are we taking this literally? This is all just entertainment, bread and circus.
No, that's
no.
Hey.
Here's what I'm saying, Mitch. Here's what I'm saying.
They need more extreme shit to keep us.
Here's what I'm saying, Mitch. Is like I saw the shit on Twitter and I just fucking I laughed. I said, "Come on, man! Like, really? Okay. Like first of all, Trump ain't going to jail. I'm just gonna tell you right now. The cat ain't going to jail. Just like I'm gonna tell you right now. We'll talk about it later. P. Diddy ain't going to jail either. That motherfucker. First of all, is no American president ever? And you asked the question. No, he will not reside from jail. It'll be joke. But the way the world is, man, we live in a 24-hour news cycle, okay? So this shit, him being convicted, is going to last all about 3 days until we're on.
Until they get the new shit.
Hey, I'm selling free Trump shirts, trying to make some money.
But my thing is, same way with Diddy, you know what I'm saying, is right now, people are coming out, they seen a video, it's fresh in their mind, yes. But give it 3-4 months where, we're going to talk about Diddy on the show here in a few. That's going to fade out.
The reason he's not going to jail because I don't know he's going to be around. I don't know if he's still going to be around.
By the way, here's the thing that I believe that Diddy was smarter than Epstein about is that motherfucker got tapes. That dude got tapes, and I don't think.
And I don't think
he let
the article I read says the FBI is now interviewing people from those.
No, here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. Epstein was playing in a bigger sandbox. I mean, let's put it this way: you have meetings with Bill Gates. You have meetings with billionaires.
Supposedly, supposedly, freak out parties. There were politicians out there.
I get there were politicians, but we're talking kings of Saudi Arabia and shit like that. Like, I mean, we're talking on a whole nother level to where if I'm not mistaken, who was the head of the head of I can't even think of it. Victoria's Secrets gave him this $50 million condo. You know what I mean? Like, there is heavy. And we're talking the heaviest of heavyweights. Diddy wouldn't even rank in that category to be there.
Got you. So you say he got little fish. I mean, it'll be embarrassing, but it'll be little.
It's all mega levels to regular people.
Right.
All I'm saying is Diddy's going to be on the sensationalism side because he's going to be more of an entertainment, an entertainment mogul, celebrity star, etc., and influencer. But if we're talking how we see it, Epstein was a global identity between we're talking the princes. We're talking, Prince
Prince Andrew,
Prince Andrew. I mean, we're talking heavyweights, obviously presidents.
Right.
It's a whole nother elite level. There's levels to the shit. And again, it's funny because Diddy's necessary to get the no jumper crowd talking, to get the movement and thought process in. I talked about it 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever it was. It's to get this idea out to as many people as possible. Now you have kids saying no Diddy and waiting to see what happens. And again, is this an op? I mean, it's funny. Did this work out exactly like when Kanye went crazy supposedly and said this about Diddy, a year ago or 8 months ago? He's a Fed and that's why he did this and blah, blah, blah. And F you, Diddy, whatever. And we thought, Kanye's crazy. Oh, they're going to kill him. And nothing's ever happened. Is he part of the program? Is this part of just an awareness that they want everybody to be aware about?
Kanye looks like a robot now. He's got the metal teeth and the way he talks. I'm like,
of course. I mean, here's the thing.
Like a cyborg?
Or let's okay, and we're kind of jumping the gun. I'm just gonna throw this idea out there. Let's talk on it when we branch it over. But if a person is worth more sometimes dead than alive, or their body of work, right? Then as far as like, first of all, we saw that and we'll touch on that Rolling Stone article with Diddy and Biggie and stuff.
Well, hold on. Okay. You know what? Let's get the Knicks weekend because you about to dive into some good shit. I definitely want to.
Well, we could skip. You remember last time we skipped your guys' weekend. But I'll go quick.
Yeah. Give me a quick synopsis of it.
I went to San Diego.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, let's go.
I got sunburned. Went to Legoland for the first time and the last time, hopefully.
Okay.
You meet any kids there?
No, I didn't. No. One with my girl and her kid.
He likes the older men.
And for the price you pay, there's not much to do.
Work. Yeah. They got Legoland fucking in London too.
They got Legoland at Arizona Mills Mall.
And it's a line wrapped around the building for this.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, we got there the first 2 hours. All the kid wanted to do was go to the Lego store and look around and pick out what he was gonna buy. I'm like, there's all these rides and stuff for kids out here.
Right.
He wanted to be in the store.
All I know is if you guys want the full Lego experience, that's fine. Give me $100. I'll throw some Legos on the floor. Let you step on them.
Let you
step on them barefoot.
Blindfolded.
Exactly.
That shit hurt.
Blindfold Lego dance off.
Exactly.
Yeah, bullshit.
Other than that, I did eat at this place, Cafe Topaz in Carlsbad. They had a breakfast burrito. It was called the Crack Breakfast Burrito.
Crack, huh?
It was off the charts.
Really?
It had that tri-tip in it.
Ooh.
And like big, huge roasted potatoes and eggs and cheese. And their salsa was on point. Really? And it was a huge burrito. I got it. Man, I was...
What was it, like $25?
No, it was only like 17.
Okay, there you go.
It was one of those places. So we pulled up and I just found it online. I'm like, this place got good reviews. It looks like cool menu. Let's check it out. So we go in there and there's like 5 people in line. I'm like, all right. So we get in line and I realize, it's like a counter order. They give you a number and you go find a seat. Right. Every seat was taken, inside, outside, patio, everything. I was like, damn. So a table opened up. So my girl's like, hey, I'll order, go to reserve the table. So I sit down. Literally by the time she ordered the food, the line was out the door and all the way down the street. There was probably 100 people online.
Holy fuck.
From the time we got in line with 5 people to the time we ordered, there was 100 people in line down the street.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. And so it must be like a real popular, like people stop in to get their food, eat. Some people eat there, some people take it, but the food was amazing.
All the way up. Did you go all the way up to Laguna?
No, we just stayed in Carlsbad. Crazy thing. So we went to the beach the first day, and I was out in the sun and like in the water, like up to my knees or waist. Didn't like go swimming because it was cold, but got in there a bit. We got back to the hotel that night. I had tar all over the bottom of my feet.
What the fuck?
And then we saw like black pieces of tar floating in the water. Like my girl picked it up.
Are you talking about like heroin?
Like
tar,
oil.
tar heroin?
Like oil tar. And she like lifted up. She's like, what is this? I'm like, that's like tar. I'm like, drop it. So I was like, I didn't know if there was an oil spill. So I looked it up. I guess it can be caused by oil spills, but it can also be caused by like shift in the ground, and the tar will rise up from underneath the sand, and it'll come up to the beach. And once it gets on your skin, it took me like 30 minutes of like scraping to get it off the bottom of my feet.
That's crazy.
So I was like, I've never seen that before. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, if you're at the beach, I guess, it could mean that there's an oil spill somewhere or a leak, or it could mean just that naturally the ground is releasing oil, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts. So,
all right.
But overall, good trip. Like I said, did get sunburn, but that's because I'm pale.
This motherfucker love. He love him some San Diego, bro. San Diego dope. Don't even get me wrong. San Diego.
It was a different trip though. It was more of like, because the kid was there. It was more like, relaxing. Wasn't my normal type of San Diego trip, where I'm out. We were in bed by 10.
Gotcha.
The nights, it wasn't like out there living it up kind of night.
Like me and you, when you stumbling.
It was a more chill night.
When you stumbling back to the hotel, you leave me.
3 in the morning.
I gotta go.
Yeah, Paul's like, I'm gonna get some food and hookah. I'm like, and just keep going.
He just fucking kept walking back to the hotel, but no, that's. But hey, okay, that's good. We sound like we all had a good. But let's touch back on the Diddy thing, because I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No.
man, You remember what you?
I mean, well, all I was going to say was, okay, let's just introduce it again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more stuff again that's coming.
Yeah, a lot more stuff going on with Diddy. Okay, so another lawsuit popped up. Another model just popped up and said, she's been sexually assaulted or drugged.
That's the one that kept the clothes.
Yeah, kept the clothes. So she did on Monica Lewinsky. She said she kept her clothes and shit like that, and she's obviously turned it over to the authorities or whatever. So we'll see what comes. There's been articles, and you touch on this. Rolling Stone articles just came out. Valletta Wallace just came out. We had Damon Dash just came out.
Yep.
Speaking on the situation. So, and then we've also had executives come out and says, this has been since Uptown Records. This has been since this is kind of the behavior he's had since then. It's just all coming to light.
I heard the behavior he's had since college from the article that I read.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why I was like, rolling back to you, Mitch. You had touched on the Rolling Stones article about it, and basically saying, give the listeners.
I mean, well, first of all, I want to say this one. That the one that really got my attention was Valletta Wallace. Shout out to Mrs. Wallace.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. Always the mirror behind us, baby.
I mean, basically, she said straight up, "I hope
one did her alive.
I hope he I hope he sits down, spills his guts and apologizes to his mom, basically.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things. And then I believe she said also, that's also part of the Rolling Stone article, but she also said, I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Combs. Mm-hmm. And again, if you remember correctly, there was beef. There was, an uncomfortable level of bad feelings and bad vibes from when Biggie passed. Even.
Right.
So she's a mom. She's got a good vibe. She knows the character. I've always felt bad for that lady. Anna Feeney Shakur, of course. Yeah. Both of them, I mean, it's kind of, you sympathize because we all have mothers, and stuff like that, and what they were put through.
And that time was so tense, bro. That time was so tense.
Without a doubt.
It was two megastar rappers who had literally the hip hop community divided. You know what I'm saying? It was East Coast, West Coast. It had the Source Awards. I mean, and that shit was intense.
Let's just throw this idea out there. I've spoken on this before. If there were meetings, with the prison for profit ideas and Universal Records supposedly, allegedly was there, and so were all the other head record execs saying we're going to push this music to get people in jail, et cetera, okay, for profit, and then also to push this lifestyle and again be able to capitalize on it in many different degrees.
Right.
Okay. It's not impossible for them to also say, let's create this situation, or obviously put gasoline on the fire to this situation to make it look even more than it is. Two people that were technically friends and were boys that had a mutual respect for each other, and then different, depending on who tells the story, it's now there's this beef, and we lived through these times. I know living on the West Coast, I was heavy into that, and I mean, as far as, even having some experience with some of Pac's camp in Marin City and with Digital Underground and with other stuff, just moving around in the Bay Area, and especially when I used to bounce in Rona Park, Petaluma area, that's what Pac was, Marin City. That's 20 minutes away. He used to hang out in Novato and Petaluma a lot, believe it or not, and Santa Rosa.
Right.
Because he was in a group with this other rapper out there, Ray Love, who ended up doing stuff with Mac Dre. So there's a little history I'm speaking on that stuff. I heard about Pac, that's when he came to Underground, I was a big supporter and fan of his. But with that said, could they have thrown a lot of fuel on this fire and made it a lot more than it was? Two friends.
Well, definitely. I mean, going back to Puffy here. You know what I'm saying? Is this dude is a very smart individual, okay? And now
opportunist.
Yes, and now taking a step back. Yes, he had a beef with Death Row, and like I said. There's been multiple reports of him actually trying to, putting a price out on Pac's head through the Crips and stuff like that.
$1 million for, according to Keefe,
exactly.
$1 million for him and Suge Knight.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to take out Pac, and then it happened at night. They see Anderson. After the Tyson fight, they have that breakout, stuff like that, and then him taking advantage of the situation. Where 6 months later, we didn't know at the time, but Biggie Smalls was about to break away from Death Row. Bad Boy Records. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He was getting his lawyers involved, stuff like that. This is the shit that's coming out now.
Oh, no, exactly.
That nobody knew about.
Well, I'd heard rumors. I mean, Nick, you probably heard rumors. I'd heard rumors for years. I just could never verify them. I mean, because it's a lot of people like to talk loose-lipped. I mean, here's another one. Speaking, and we'll go back to exactly what that was. But that Bodyguard. I mean, two of the people that speak, and again, how credible are these sources? The Bodyguard Gene for Bad Boy, and then also Jaguar Wright, who pops around, and you can see him on TikToks and on IGs.
Yeah.
But Gene, who says a lot of Atlanta shit. First of all, you always got to ask why weren't you saying this shit back then?
Right.
Or is it the day and age where you're, and the timing where people want to book you for these interviews to say this explosive stuff. But either way, Gene was saying that actually Puffy, there were two things about Puffy back in the day. He was jealous of Tupac.
Right.
He was jealous of Big and Pac's relationship.
Right.
And in the same closet-ass, weird-ass way, he also idolized Tupac. And then they even showed him wearing the Versace shirts that Pac would wear. And I mean, don't get me wrong, first of all, Versace was very popular at the time. Versace, on a lesser level, Donna Karan, Moschino, all this other shit was popular, all these trendy 90s brands, high fashion brands. Armani, different things like that. But if you look, Pac was always, like it was all about Versace, you copy my style. And they were rocking, those Versace shirts later. And again, that doesn't mean, but just even the look, the loudness of it, the vibe, the swagger. It's very interesting if you go back to those times. Because I remember the first time I ever saw Diddy, I'm like, who's this clown? He's trying so hard. He's trying so hard. And I just kept watching. He's trying so hard. And then, okay, I like that one. Oh, okay, I didn't know Mace wrote this for him. I didn't know Big wrote this. I didn't know Jadakiss wrote this. I didn't know any of that. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good for him. That's pretty good for him. Oh, and then eventually, because there's nobody else left, you accept him. And now it's like, oh, shit, look at Diddy's album. Number one in the country.
Well, I thought it was crazy, too. Early in his day, before he started Bad Boy, when he was under, I forget the guy he was under.
Andre Harrell.
Andre Harrell.
His mentor. Yeah, he had Diddy put on like a concert or something, and 10 people died in like a stampede.
That was at Howard State.
Yeah, and like 10 people died. Basically, because instead of him working with the New York Police Department to do security, he got his own people involved, and they basically like half-assed it. And
they busted
10 people,
and people got trampled. And there were exits that were supposed to be open that were chained up.
Yep.
And people got trampled and died.
And that kind of caused a rift between him and Harrell, and then that's when he ended up breaking off. They basically were like, we got to get rid of him. He's not a good look. That's when he broke off and started as Bad Boy. And I forget who it was. Someone gave him a $10 million
Clive Davis.
Clive Davis gave him a $10 million lifeline, and that's what kind of helped him boost into Bad Boy.
I mean, at the time, bro, he was breaking hits, bro. He was bringing Mary J. Blige, Jodeci at the time, Total at the time, Biggie, Craig Mack.
I mean, even Father MC.
He was. The thing was, as
he was a hit maker.
But that's why Clive Davis cuts the deal. But let me tell you this. People that really know, if you know music, look up who Clive Davis is and just look up the rumors in the history of Clive Davis. I mean, that's another rabbit hole. Whether you're talking about the Whitney Houston rumors, whether you're talking about the, what he's into rumors. I mean, you signed to Clive Davis. I mean, there's even rumors that him and Diddy allegedly were lovers.
Right.
I mean, so I'm just going to say that. There's a lot of rumors, about that stuff.
No. Here's the thing. I get you, but what I'm saying, just going back to kind of what we're talking about is this dude so? I mean, you saw a glimpse of his personality, okay? Which, like I said, all of us don't know, what we're like behind closed doors. We can only give you can only see, when we are out front. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why people are so, appalled by the whole thing, because you put on this face about, I'm this, that, and then behind closed doors you're this fucking monster. You know what I'm saying? Could he have orchestrated this whole thing with Pac's death, with Big's death now, and all these other allegations as far as
why not?
Sexual assault, verbal assault, all this other shit, and now you're like, this motherfucker might be capable of fucking anything.
Well, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Go back to some of the Biggie Smalls, biographies. The ones where they talk to people at the time.
Right.
And if you talk to the bodyguards at the time when the biographies, man, I'm not talking about the internet world we live in now, where there's these hot take interviews. I'm talking at the time. There's one that specifically rings out to me. The bodyguard's talking and he goes, hey, yeah, but he was going to Cali. His mom didn't want him to go.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to go, but they were like, Puff was pushing him,
Yeah.
He was like, you got to do this radio tour right at the height of
I all this shit, because it was like 6 months.
Yeah,
it was 6 months, and the shit ain't simmered down.
Pop died in September.
Yeah.
Biggie
Died in March. Yeah,
exactly. And
it was first of all, it was no reason for him to go out to California.
Not
like Life After Death just dropped, right? It was no reason for him to go out to California and stuff like that. It would have it dropped. It already went platinum out the gate. You know what I'm saying? It was no reason for him to be in California at the fuck all when the shit was hot.
Well, first of all, here's the other thing. I have to remember what date the actual album did drop, because can we look that up, please? And then also, I would love to know who called I know Born to Die was the first one, but Life After Death is a pretty crazy title if you consider everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, but I think that was because if you
March 25th, 1997.
So see, it was after he died.
Yeah.
The album was released after he died.
Yeah.
So again, that's pretty convenient when you're talking about album sales.
Yeah.
Just like Pac's Machiavelli. Yeah.
Down
After he died.
Exactly.
And again, these are supposedly the last fulfilling albums for their contracts.
Right.
So again, they're both in similar situations.
No, for real. The
rappers you'd ever heard of, and the most influential rappers ever up to that time. Again, both have similar situations. Both put out double CDs.
Yeah,
CDs to get the album sales and to get out their contracts.
Get out their contracts. After that, Bad Boy, he was gone. Bro, like I said, I tell people all the time, if Pac and Big were alive, and I'm not even going to take credit for this, but fucking Jadakiss said it best. They asked him, they said, if Pac and Big were alive, where would 90% of these rappers be? They'd be like, can I take your order?
Well,
because they took up so much airspace. First of all, they wouldn't allow this fucking mumble rap to come into existence.
Well, first of all, let me just say this. It was easier to take these two off with as much influence as it was and then restructure rap from behind the scenes, which is what they wanted to do anyway. It's funny because, and we'll get back onto the subject, but I was listening to a piece on the way here. Someone, again, this is all opinion, but I believe this. It's funny because if you look at the history of West Coast rap for a second with Pac, when Pac died, there really wasn't any more West Coast. Everybody stayed away from the West Coast. Don't get me wrong. They used their beats. It's so funny because up to the late 80s, and we're talking hip hop, New York would use like you would use stuff like to where you listen to it in your headphones or the boombox.
Yeah.
West Coast was always bumping it in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's funny how you start getting these West Coast beats. There was a lot of hate when the West Coast came on the scene. Some people would say Common, what's it called? When he was I Used to Love Her. And, and then she started around with the Boys in the Hood. Like he was talking about rap and hip hop and how it changed when it got to the gangster rap. And then what's it called? Even Tim Dog, does the Fuck Compton. And that's the biggest hater moves ever because they were getting so much play. I mean, you had Ice Cube, you had Snoop, you had Dre, you had NWA, you had Eazy-E. I mean, and you were making this movement with those type of beats for the trunk and for the cars. And then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? You're putting a lot more bass in the East Coast songs, et cetera. And they're just taking that bass line, which why wouldn't you? It works. And now all of a sudden the record industry executives are like, we don't really need to sign acts out there. Let's just keep signing them out east. They went back and took it back. Because, I mean, what successful West Coast artists did you have after Pac died? I mean, I can name a couple, but there was nobody really going. I mean, if we really want to be honest, Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001 in the game. Mm-hmm. And that's 10 years later.
Yeah, that's true.
Why did everybody fall off? And then if you really want to be critical, maybe West Coast Connection had one more album. But that's it. There was a lot of artists and then Snoop had to go to No Limit to start selling records.
Yeah, right.
I will say E40.
Yeah. Oh, E40, but here's the thing. E40 was consistent.
Yeah.
He's been trying to fight through that same thing, like, not get on the cover of The Source. He just is starting to get his props because of his longevity and also because enough people are starting to open their ears to like stuff, whether the Big Sean song, I Don't Fuck With You, #1 song in the country helps out, or, everybody's got choices, start to show us diversity. but it took him, being in the game since the late 80s.
Listen,
But I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now. I wasn't growing up. I wasn't a big 40 fan. I thought he got better as he got older. Like my
Hey,
shit.
I
know you grew up in the Bay.
I'm gonna disagree. Growing up here, before I even met Mitch and from the Bay, my group that I grew up with in high school, we called ourselves the Click Mob after the Click and E40, and that's how I bumped the Click and E40 in my car. In a Major Way, I think is one of the best albums, cover to cover. I can just hit play and listen to it straight through 10 times in a row. And every song is a little different. It bumps. You can play it in your car, the bass. Man, it brings me back to my high school days, like E40.
Well, see, I mean, I think that brings you back to your point where I grew up in the East Coast.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up on East Coast rap. I've been coming out here, but
I have the East Coast. The East Coast. I'm from Arizona.
You're from Arizona.
I have the East Coast family. We used to go every year to New York. So I grew up. I started getting into like a lot of the East Coast rap, like Wu-Tang, when they were still like New York and they hadn't really gone. Like you didn't hear about them everywhere. I hear about them, and the crazy thing was when at that time that was about the same time like E40 and the Click were big in the West Coast and the Bay. New York people never heard of them. I used to bring the CDs out there and bump that, and my cousins would be like, "What is this?"
But that's what I'm saying.
The East Coast radio. There was no internet. Yeah. The East Coast radios didn't play E40. They didn't play the Click.
They hated them. In fact, here's what's funny. I'll take it a step further. I'd go down to San Diego, and we're talking circa 97, 98. For example, I can't even think of that club after the Chargers games. They used to pop on Sunday night.
Oh, you talking about the downstairs one?
Yeah, the downstairs.
Fuck, yeah, bro, yeah.
I can't even remember the club now. Damn.
That shit was there when I was fucking. I went out there and played for the Holiday Bowl and shit like that.
Yeah, that shit was popping.
Oh my god, that shit was so dope.
So we used to go to these clubs, and I remember I went to some industry warehouse club, and I go up to the DJ. Hey man, can you play some before? I don't feel him as an artist. And he's playing DMX and Nori and everything, what, and Core Mega and, like Nas and everything else. And I'm like sitting there going, we're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And E40 gets no love in San Diego. Yeah, like it's certain. I mean, it was funny because here's the difference. You had West Coast DJs that wanted to be New York and wanted to be New York DJs. They wanted to be Red Alert and Kid Capri and Jazzy Jazz, but still they were influenced by that culture. So they would almost hate on West Coast culture. Ebro's a perfect example. He runs Power Hot 97. He's from Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And yet he didn't play a lot of 40 songs, even though he was jocking 40 out here, and I promise you on all that. And now he's the most powerful man in hip hop on that radio station. And let me just say this. But if you look at the West Coast, in fact, when I go back to visit, when I moved down to Arizona in 97, you'd have people with the one pant leg up wanting to be LL. You know what I mean? Like they had love. Some people had love for the East Coast. You go to the East Coast, it was not like that.
No.
It's like this is the mecca of where everything started. Everything else needs to bow down. And it took years and years and years. It took hits from the South coming out. It took hits from Texas coming out. And it took, it took regional hits to come out to start breaking those boundaries, but it's still that way almost to this day. New York is,
when I used to go to New York and I'd bring like the Click and E40 there and they'd be like, it was shit they never heard. But then I also got introduced to things like Big L, like, he should have been the next big thing in New York.
Agreed.
And I think, he would have been Jay-Z before Jay-Z. I think he was a better lyricist.
People don't realize I was listening to Hawaiian Sophie with Jay-Z before I knew who the fuck he was. It was just crazy. It was on a pop tape. So wearing
him and Jazzo,
and fucking wearing these Hawaiian shirts and shit like that. So it's funny to see how like cats evolve and stuff like that over time. So, but speaking of evolving, let's talk about right now. So what's going around right now is Terrence Howard. Right? So he was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
For those of you who don't know, most of you should know who Terrence Howard is. World-renowned A-class actor for everything from Iron Man to Hustle and Flow.
Yes.
So he was the lead in Empire on Fox.
Yep.
What else? There's some other stuff he was on too.
Very
Get Rich or Die Trying, the manager, Bama.
Very intelligent. The dude is so dude could have some degrees. You know what I'm saying? Got 92 patents come out. And I looked up these patents the other night. I told you I went down the rabbit hole the other night, just kind of checking on the validity of what he was saying. But one thing I was telling you, and I was talking to Mitch yesterday when we were together about something that always have bothered me until now. It's always bothered me in school, and it is crazy that it's coming up now, is the 1 times 1 equals 1. Like, and he was talking about, how the, how in the universe, how in everything, every action has a reaction. You know what I'm saying? And so he basically broke it down. He says, if you have $1 and you times it by another $1, is that still $1? And and that's what it always baffled me in school, how people justify 1 times 1 being 1. And then he broke it down in a way where like physicists, scientists could understand. Well, I could never do that in like layman's term could do that, because 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 is fucking 2. And like you said, it was like it could never like for me, even 0 times 1, how is that 0? You know what I'm saying? And that one, it was like
I think anything times 0 is 0, and anything times 1 is itself, because 100 times 1 is still 100.
Yes, but what he was breaking it down is it doesn't in physics.
Yeah,
the law of physics.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because if you have
a lot of shit that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's what he was questioning, and then he was talking about how they were pushing straight lines. For since eons they've been pushing straight lines. Where he's saying everything in the world is not a straight line; it's actually a curvature, stuff like that, and that's what everything's made up of. And I thought it was fascinating. And like I said, for you guys that are ever going to see it, check it out.
Well, let's go even deeper.
Yeah.
Go even deeper. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
That's a Joe Rogan interview, right?
Right.
Okay. And on top of that, let's talk about how he had the patent for virtual reality.
Yes.
Or he applied for the patent. Was it 2008 or 2012? I can't remember.
I think it's 12. I think it's
2012
Yeah.
is crazy. That's closer than latter. But he applied for the patent. And Nick, we've applied for many patents, right? Yeah. Okay, and we know how that game goes. Trademarks, patents, we've had to get, like, here's what's funny. For people to know, and I'm going to change subjects for a second, we've had some clothing businesses, clothing lines. So we, try to get stuff. I used to be the first person to file a lot of this stuff. Just go to LegalZoom, get the extra help, talk to the lawyers, et cetera. Yep. $300, file. Yep. Cool. The rule about when you file for a patent is, as long as you file and someone else doesn't have that existing patent, technically your patent's good for about 6 months no matter what happens.
Yep.
And then you got to reply and then start answering the correct legal questions presented in the right way. So we'd get shit back and we're like, I don't know how the fuck to answer this shit, do you? And then at that point, either you let the shit go and it falls off, or you fucking go get a legal, you
hire a patent lawyer, a trademark lawyer to fucking battle with you.
To speak the fucking language. And that's usually a couple grand at least, depending on the patent.
No. I mean, now I have to say that's changed, because right now, going through the energy drink that I have right now is I go through this company called Trademark Engine. Okay. And for $300, they'll respond to anything that comes back from the patent. You have 3 months to respond.
I mean that's kind of like LegalZoom, but at a certain point they're going to ask you, especially, and clothing could be different than energy drinks. Well, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of times in clothing you can have the name of something, but if you put it on a shirt, it's called dressing. So let's say Dope Couture, for example.
Yeah.
I can make a shirt to put dope on the front. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I got you.
Because it might not.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I had to clarify. It's
called dressing.
You're exactly correct, because I had the name of the business, but then it has energy drink in it.
Yeah.
They basically said I had to clarify that
energy
drink. I was not putting a patent on the word energy drink. I was putting a patent on the 2C part of it.
Yeah.
We did the same thing when we did the Black Sox. Was one of our Black Sox Inc. It was BLKSOXINK was kind of our logo, but we couldn't be associated with anything Black Sox like baseball, so we couldn't just have Black Sox. We couldn't just have ink. It had to be all lumped together, or else they wouldn't do it as a trademark. And then we had a sock that we had custom designed, and even went down to the measurements of how much of the material was black versus how much of the material was printed. Wow. So we could say the bottom 8 inches are black and the top 4 inches are printed. And someone else can go, okay, I'll do the bottom 7 inches black and the top 5 inches printed. And that's a totally different trademark because you're trademarking the exact specifications for whatever you're doing.
Interesting.
I'm gonna give a piece of game real quick. If people are in the clothing game, I mean, again, take it for what it is. I was in the heyday of it. 2011, 2018, let's say. But
Shit, I was in them before you.
yeah, true. And so with that said, man, get a logo, trademark your logo, throw your logo on everything, and make sure you have the website for that logo or whatever it is. To tie those two together, and you'll be okay. Make sure you have the Instagram and whatever else you need. And as long as you have the logo, make sure people love the logo and figure out how to use that shit. Don't get words that are so general words because people are, first of all, they're going to copy you anyway. At least if they copy your logo that goes to your website, guess what? You're getting free pub.
Yep.
Because if you have an idea, and we've had many that have been stolen.
Yep.
If it goes right back to our website, who cares? You know what I mean? Hey, please copy it and spread it around to all your friends. You know what I mean? So again, at least if you get knocked off, you get knocked off to get the pub and you own the website. So make sure you put that in play. But with that said, back to trademark. So he files back to Terrence Howard. He files for that patent for virtual reality, and I guess it gets abandoned after a year. Right? Same thing we're talking about. 6 months to a year, it gets abandoned. And my understanding is that the people that were, doing the patent didn't even understand
what it was.
How intricate, what he's talking about was.
Yep.
So they weren't even in the future of understanding it.
Yep.
So they turned it down. That patent eventually gets approved, and it gets used by the likes of IBM. I mean, approved for somebody else, first of all. So that's very interesting. And then it gets everybody, IBM, Tesla, Apple, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to the tune of, if he I want to say he said
20 billion.
20 trillion.
Was he said 20
No, he said trillion. He said 20 trillion.
Oh yeah, no, he did say 20
He said $20 trillion.
Yeah.
And so now he's going back and he's got proof that they were wrong and rejected his patent because they didn't understand it.
Right.
So
Here's my thing. He even said it himself. He's like, they haven't even used it to the full potential.
Yeah.
He says, if they want to know,
I can teach them.
yeah, I can teach them. He's like, come holler at me.
Brainiac motherfucker.
Bro, I'm serious, man. It was, it was funny because, talk show hosts and people were picking it up and they were laughing at him because they weren't understanding what this man, and here, like I said.
Can you imagine him going, I want to tell you about virtual reality, man.
Yeah. And my whole thing was, I told you, I went down a rabbit hole because I had to Google the shit that he was saying because I didn't understand it. But just because you don't fucking understand it doesn't mean that this shit ain't fucking right. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man.
What is hustle? What is flow?
this motherfucker, Pickle Park ass.
Ain't that right, man?
Pause. What is Pickle Park?
But yeah, so that blew my mind. That literally blew my mind on that, on that subject. People look that up because it's very interesting, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, if it plays out. And again, but it's so funny. Look at the powers that be that have their hands on that shit, and that says a lot about the way the world is. Speaking of the way the world is,
yeah. I'm about to say, you speaking of the powers that be in the world and where the world is.
So real quickly, had to bring up this subject. It's floating around. If you look at a map of where the next disasters are going to happen,
it's called apocalypse, man.
The apocalypse, yeah, okay. Not two apocalypse, but apocalypse.
Apocalypse map.
The apocalypse map.
Check it out.
Okay, and you're going to see like California, goes into the water.
Yeah, California's gone.
Yeah, California's
Phoenix
gone.
is beachfront now.
Yeah.
Beachfront. Why do you think the prices are going up right now the way they're going?
Right.
Because that's the only thing that would make sense, truthfully. Right. And then you see like over by Louisiana, like this water like in between. That's like divided.
Because the dam's broke.
Yeah.
I mean, it already showed the levees fucking ain't strong and stuff like that. So
so what's it called? It's basically the United States is cut into three, right?
Yep.
And it's interesting, but if you take that map and overlay it where all the world's richest people are buying property, it's the exact same map.
Yeah, it's all the farmlands like that they're buying up right now aligns with the doomsday map. My question is there a man-made or is there a quote-unquote Mother Nature-made disaster that is highly likely to happen, and that's what they're gearing up for this stuff?
Called HARP.
Is it called HARP?
Old Faithful erupting, but that wipes out most of the U.S.
No, not really. I mean, I don't think. Here's the thing: is that map is based on sea levels rising, and so they're already talking about Antarctica. We're talking about the polar caps and stuff like that, melting and stuff like that, and maybe that's why we're not doing shit about fucking talking about global warming. I know that's a little bit touchy on the subject, but we have to talk about it. You know, some say it's bullshit, some say it's right. But anyway, the polar caps are melting, so sea levels are rising. So is that what we're making on right now? That happened.
Hey, here's my thing with that though. So how long have like human consciousness been around where we can actually study things and understand? How long have we even known the polar caps were there? So we're trying to base it off of, you know, our current understanding of.
I think we're basing off the last 100 years that we've.
And how long has the Earth been here?
So, but what I'm saying is
Millions of years.
But what I'm getting at is within those 100 years, if it's melting at a rate.
How do we know that every 1,000 years the ice caps don't disappear and then reappear 1,000 years later?
Okay, so where
we go into an ice age or whatever?
Where the fuck does that water go though? I'm playing along.
Have you ever driven to California from? Have you ever driven to California from Arizona? Well, you got all those sand dunes in the middle of nowhere. Why do we have sand dunes in the middle of nowhere? There had to be beaches at one time. Same thing in Africa.
I'm doing your Huckleberry, but I'm saying, if you're saying they may melt, that's what the Earth does. Where's the water's got to go somewhere?
No, the water rises, and that's why you have these areas that are landlocked that are full of sand and like beach sand.
So that's what I'm saying is they're measuring, and that's why they're bringing up.
Well, I'm just saying as far as global warming goes.
Like there's a lot of saying going on.
I think what global warming.
So you say this is just a natural occurrence?
I think
and humans
it would be like this. If you were to look at like an anthill. And you were to, and you're an ant, and you're living on an anthill, and you think that what you do is making a difference in anything around you. It's really not. You're just a small, like we're literally ants on a ginormous planet.
You believe that? Okay, so
Yes.
during
I don't.
let me give you an example. During COVID, a place that I've been to, Venice, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to Venice right now and you run around, you got to take water taxis and stuff everywhere, stuff like that. They got water canals all over the fucking place, right? It's black as fucking nice. Black as this tablecloth, right? Because you can't see the fucking water. When we had COVID, that shit cleared up. Yeah. It was blue as fucking.
But that's just showing you that, not to say we don't have an effect, but what happens
and
is
dolphins came back in that
Mother Nature, this is what I think. They talk about, where the storms are worse and the hurricanes are worse. That's Mother Nature cleaning up our fuck-ups.
Well,
or HARP.
No, but what I'm getting at, you're making my point for me. So you don't think what we're doing right now as fucking a industrial society and putting all the shit in the air ain't fucking up what's going on?
I think it's just natural that the Earth will naturally heal itself, and whether that's through bigger hurricanes and.
So you're exactly right. When we stop polluting this shit, it definitely
or blocking out the sun or throwing out chemtrails. I mean,
But that's that's fucking what we're fucking doing.
Yeah, no,
you get what I'm saying? And as soon as we stop doing that shit, the Earth will heal us fucking stuff.
But I think that people talk about
I still remember during COVID.
It's not natural.
Mother Earth is healing.
But what I'm saying, it's not natural. So when we're talking about global warming, we're talking about the shit that we're doing is causing the rise in all this fucking pollution. That's causing the rise in fucking the temperatures that we're seeing because of the things that we're doing.
But that's the Earth just healing it. So
Nature's healing.
Things are going to get crazy. We're going to have bigger storms and bigger earthquakes and bigger hurricanes and more tornadoes and.
But you're saying that
regardless
if we were dumping shit in the water or we were fucking causing pollutions in the air, you're saying that's going to happen regardless. Is what you're saying?
I don't know. That's the point. We don't have enough. We don't have enough.
Well, we kind of did know because with COVID, we saw what happened when we saw the shit start clearing up.
Did storms stop? Did hurricanes stop? No. Yeah, things might have cleared up a little bit.
The shit cleared up? Did the fucking water, did the air quality and shit get better?
Oh,
yeah.
For a short term?
Because we weren't fucking polluting the fuck out of it.
Yeah, but we're saying over whatever the industrial term from the 1940s to COVID, we were polluting, and then we stop, and all of a sudden it's clear, and because the first day back, start polluting.
No, it wasn't the first day back, but it fucking didn't take long for us to go back the same way and then start.
Yeah, but we're talking about
Here's the thing. If you have in the show on this, if you have a cut, right? If you cut something open and you cover it and you put ointment on that motherfucker and you let it's going to start healing on its own, right?
Yeah.
Okay? But if you fucking cut the same fucking area, what happens? It's still fucking open.
Yeah.
That's the same thing we're fucking doing right now.
What I'm saying is you had like 100 years of industrial waste and pollutant, and then COVID hits, and we're 6 months with nothing. It starts to clear up a little bit,
But it showed.
then-
But it showed. I mean,
and now there's no difference, and now it's worse.
Because we've gone back to the fucking same shit we've done. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. This is another conversation we need to have on the show.
exactly.
Anyway, all right. Give me a quick thoughts of the day.
I thought it's still going to be on the same subject.
Okay.
So we're talking about, the rich people buying, the mega wealthy, I should say, not rich.
Yeah.
Buying, the land and the, apocalypse map. Coincidence, life imitating art imitating life. Coincidence theory, who knows? But with that said, also I want to add that Bill Gates purchased, over $100 million of Bud Light, conveniently right at their all-time low, right after, that campaign kind of went wrong. That's all I'll say. That I mean, there's so much backlash. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. It's a fact. That campaign failed. It bombed. If we're talking about running a business, it was the worst thing possible. Unless you're, you're trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize for some reason or something. You're not. We're talking running a business and money and knowing who your clientele is. And you lost a lot of them. You pissed people off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, it's just a fact. It doesn't matter about my opinion. And that's a fact. So Bill Gates just jumps in and buys a ton of Bud Light. And then he also buys, a lot of Heineken as well. Okay. Well, first of all, the rumor mill is saying, and again, keep in mind this is allegedly, that maybe there's some connections to whoever the CEO was and their ad strategies and what they approved to drop the price of Bud Light, so that they could make a major takeover or a major buy-in, I should say, And with that said, they're also saying that, maybe his interests aren't even in Bud Light or Heineken, but maybe they are in the water producing ability of those places.
Well, the water rights.
Water rights.
Coors Light has the water rights to the water
Yeah.
that runs right through, their place. Bud Light has the same thing. They have water rights,
water rights
to clear water around their plants.
Especially
And I'm
if
sure
it is-
Heineken's the same way as well.
especially if there's a disaster that happens and water is going to become even more important.
All right. Let's see.
So keep an eye out.
Grady?
So my thought of the day, I know we talk about Diddy and we, I feel like we glorify like celebrities, entertainers, politicians.
Fuck 'em all.
But then, and I read this in a thing. It's like, when have you ever needed a celebrity? When you need a doctor, you need a butcher so you can get food, or a cook so you can make food.
You need an optometrist.
Yeah, you need an optometrist. But I'm saying, when have you ever needed an actor? Whenever you ever needed a sports athlete, you don't need them. But those are the people we glorify. We don't glorify the doctors and the soldiers and the people that we really, truly need in our life. We don't glorify them. We glorify these people that don't matter and don't give a shit.
Because it ain't sexy.
Exactly.
And we got programs.
So what I'm going to say is, next time you're like, oh, God, whatever, you're balling over some celebrity or some athlete, think about what's really important.
and get off their nuts.
Get off their nuts. Exactly.
All right. My thought of the day is Boston in 6, baby. We'll see you in the finals. Luke, I'm out. I'm out. Ah!